Okay, so what we have here is the beginnings of 24-hour clock. So the first thing you should notice is we are dealing with an analog clock here. That's a normal timepiece. What I want you to do is I want you to press pause and write down what you think the time is at the moment on this clock. Press pause now. Right, hopefully you would have got written down 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 1 p.m. So how would that be written in 24-hour clock? 24-hour clock runs on the idea that there are 24 hours in a day. So during the morning you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, 11, and at midday it becomes 12 o'clock. Now you've completed 12 hours in that day. So when you reach 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 1 p.m, you are now not at 1 p.m. according to 24-hour clock, but you are on the 13th hour of the day because it moves from 12 to 13. That means 1 p.m. becomes 13:00. So let's have a look at what that looks like at 24 hours clock. And here we go. You can see it's 13:00. So we've got no minutes and it's the 13th hour of the day. So if I was to fast forward an hour, and let's move forward an hour to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I want you to write down a prediction. What time would that be in 24-hour clock? Press pause and write that down now, please. Okay, so hopefully if you've written that down and made a successful prediction, what you will have is the time 14:00, because it's the 14th hour of the day. Let's go back to our analog clock again. And here we go. I'm now going to fast forward it on to 1 hour. And now I'd like you to make a prediction. What do you think 3 o'clock would be in 24 hours clock? Remember, 1 o'clock was 13, 2 o'clock was 14. So what do you think 3 o'clock would be? Write that down as a prediction. Press pause. Okay, so what you should have now for 3 o'clock is 15:00. So that would be the 15th hour of the day. I'm going to give you one more where I want you to make a prediction. Okay, this is your new time. Please write down what you think that would be in 24 hours clock. Press pause whilst you do it. Okay, let's have a look at this time, and we are looking at 17:00. So we've got no minutes, it's the 17th hour of the day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer you a few more just for the afternoon and early evening, and then we'll look at the morning. So let's have a look at another one. We're going to add 30 minutes and then another 15. Okay, write down what you think this time would be in 24 hours clock. Press pause whilst you do it. Okay, the time there in 24 hours clock is 17:45. Let's have a couple more. So another 15 minutes and another. Right. Now let's have a look at this time. It's 6:15 in the evening. What do you think this would be in 24 hours clock? Press pause whilst you write it down. Okay, our time there would be 18:15 because 6 o'clock is the 18th hour. Let's have a look at another one. Okay, so here we have 9:15 in the evening, 9:15 in the evening. What time do you think this would be as 24 hours clock? Please press pause whilst you write the answer down. Right, the answer for this one is 21:15. Now, going back to here, we have covered an awful lot for the afternoon. But what about the morning when it comes to 24 hours clock? Well, let's rewind the time a bit, because in the morning, what do we call that if we have analog clock? Now, I've got PM there, so what is it called in the morning? If PM is the afternoon, what is the morning called? Press pause whilst you busy tell someone nearby that answer. Okay, what you should have is, as an answer, PM is the afternoon and AM is the morning. Now, when we have a look at this, let's subtract a few more minutes. Here we go. We've got what time? Please press pause and tell me what time you have in the morning. Okay, now you should have said or written down 11 o'clock in the morning. So what does that look like as 24 hours clock? Well, it simply looks like this, like 11 o'clock. If we look at it on a normal digital watch, then it would look like 11 o'clock, but with an AM to tell you that it's morning. And there we have it on a clock. Okay. Let's see what happens when it is 10 o'clock in the morning. Make a prediction. What do you think? Write it down. It will look like in 24 hours clock. Press pause whilst you do it. Okay, and let's have a look to see what it looks like as 24 hours clock. And we should be looking at 10 o'clock. Quite simply, 10.00, 10th hour of the day. Now, let's have a look and see what happens when we get into single figures. Because with the last two examples, we've noticed they have what? They have a what column and a what column. Hopefully, you would have been saying a tens column and a ones column. So we are dealing with double digits. 10, 11, they're double digits. What happens though when we move to single digits, where we've got nothing in this column and only a value in this column? I want you to pause it and make a prediction. What do you think it might look like there? What do you think you might see in this one column, and what might you see in this column? Now, we're going to put that prediction to test. Let's work it back a little bit. Take away another hour, and let's see what 9 o'clock looks like in 24 hours clock in the morning. And here we can see we've got no value in the tens, so it becomes 0. We've got 9 hours in the ones column, so it becomes 9, and then we have 0, 0. So if you don't have a digit, you don't miss off the 0, you keep it there as a place value holder. Let's see if we can tell the time for 2 more. Let's take it back a bit more. And here we have a new time. Can you please write down what you think this time would be in 24 hours clock? Press pause whilst you do it. Okay, now what would that look like in 24 hours clock? 07:30. Let's go back and we'll do one more. Okay, we have a new time in 24 hours clock. What would that be written down in the 24 hours clock? Press pause whilst you do it. Okay, so here we have 06:15. So with 24 hours clock, we are using every single hour in the day in a chronological order. So once we go past midday, we are looking at 12, then we're looking at 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and we got up to 21. So it's the 21st hour of the day. There's been 21 hours go by. But what happens when we get up to a slightly higher number? Now, if we were to do that and keep our clock going round till we get to 10 o'clock, so we've covered 9, what do we think the time would be at 10 o'clock in the evening on 24 hours clock? Let's see if you can get that one. Write it down and press pause whilst you do that. Right, your answer should have been 22, the 22nd hour of the day. So with that in mind, if I was to say 11 o'clock at night, what would it be in 24 hours clock then? And I want you to write that down, and I'm not going to show you the time on the video. Press pause whilst you work it out. You're going to have to count forward an hour, imagine it in your head, off you go. So I asked you what the time would be if it was 11 o'clock in the evening, and here we have 23 ... the 23rd hour of the day. So I've now changed it on to the end. What do you think the time would be if I took it to midnight? And that's what I've done. The exact moment in between 2 days, midnight. Have a think. What would it be? Press pause whilst you have a chat with someone. Okay, now you may have come up with lots and lots of different ideas. You may have said it's 12:00. You may have said it's 24:00 because it's the 24th hour of the day. What I'm going to say is try and hone that in a bit more. Is it 24:00 or 00:00? Which one do you think it would be? And maybe explain to someone nearby why. Press pause whilst you do that. Okay, so let's have a look at the answers to see if you are right or wrong. Midnight comes through as 00:00. We have got nothing on the clock. We are at that perfect point between one day and the next, where the time hasn't moved on from there into the morning, and we've left the previous time behind. So we will do some more work on 24-hour clock in due course. This was our first step into it, and we will build up from there. Hopefully you've got those right. If you feel uncertain or not sure, watch the video again, go back, have a think about it, and use that opportunity, okay, to have a go. I will add this link that I'm using at the moment, so if you want to have an experiment yourself, then you can do, and that will help you in your learning. Right. Good luck.